Hello guys, this is Clastro and Dave, and today we will continue our Unity game development course. This is the part 2 of the full course, and today we will introduce ourselves to the Unity editor GUI and also work with it. If you want to see part 1, then the link is in the description or in the info card above. Well, that's it for now. Before starting, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and also hit the notification bell to stay updated for my future videos. Also, it gives me the motivation to continue making videos for you guys. Well, that's it for now. Now, let's start. Well, first thing is first, let's open Unity Hub. After opening Unity Hub, the screen should look something like this. Yes, not everything might be same because I already worked on Unity Hub and I've changed some optional settings which you don't need to worry about. But after opening Unity Hub, find this new project button and click on this project button. After clicking on this button, this new window will open. In the middle scrolling list, you can see I can scroll this list, find 3D code button. Like here it is for me 3D code and click on it. Why 3D code? Because you will start working with 3D code and then later start working with 2Ds. Well, after clicking on 3D code, come to the right side where you can change your project name here. This is also scrollable list and you will see 3D. This is an empty 3D project that uses Unity built-in renderer. Down here in the project settings, you can change your project name. Like you can give it anything. Like for me, I can give it Unity Test or anything you can give. After giving your own name, come to this location button and click on it. A file explorer will open and then you will choose the location where you will store your Unity file. You also have to remember it so you can open it afterwards. Well, that's it for this. All the below settings you don't need to worry about because it is advanced settings. But you need to do one thing, that is uncheck this button. Connect to Unity Cloud must be unchecked. Well, after this is done, you are done and now you can go and click this create project button. After you have clicked it, the Unity project will load and the loading window or pop-up will pop up. You have to wait until it fully loads. Well, I will come to you after it also loads for me. Well, after the Unity project is loaded for you, this screen will pop up. Well, it should look something like this. If not, then come to this area, this button named layout. You may see it here most likely. And after that, click on that button and then select default from here. Here it is for me default and click it. It may change something for you or may not change something for you. Like for me, it didn't change because I did this so everyone's screen should look like the default. So we are in the same page. Well, first thing is first, let's start with knowing what each part of the window does. First, hierarchy. You may see your hierarchy. In this window, this hierarchy window is this. In this window, we will see all our game objects. Game objects are all the objects that are in our game, like characters, models, land, etc. It will show everything you have in your game. You may see something like sample scene. Sample scene. What is a scene? Scene is a different universe. In Unity, a scene is a different universe. You can do different universes in your game, or you can do different places in your game by creating different scenes. Like maybe in your game, When a player touches something, you want the player to get teleported from maybe his house outside to the outside world. Maybe you can keep the player's house in one scene and the outside world in another scene. And you can change the player's scene by just programming. More about it later. But scenes are generally universes of your game. Well, you may see this drop down button, this arrow in the left of sample scene, and you may click this and then drop down will open for you. If it is already open, you may not need to click this button. In this drop down, you will see two things, a main camera and the directional light. These two things are two different game objects. A main camera is a game object and a directional light is also a game object. More about it later, but for now, main camera is what the player will see when loading up your game. And directional light just gives light to your game so nothing is dark. Well, that's it to know about for now. Now you will see nothing else because there is nothing else in your game. Well, that's it for the hierarchy. Now let's come to the second part, this window. You may see this window this much, and in the top there are two tabs, project and console. First let's go with the project tab, and yes, you can also change the tabs by clicking on them. Like you can click on console and the tab will be changed to console. Same with project. But now let's start with the project. This project tab will show, it's like a file explorer. So you don't have to open the file explorer of your system, but you can access all the things of your game from this file explorer. This is like a file explorer, that's what you need to go, and you will see folders, like this is a scene folder. And in the scene folder, there are all the scenes, like for now there is a sample scene. Well, now let's get back, and if you want to get back to another year, you may click here or you may click in one of the folders here if you want to change your folder. You can navigate through the folders just like the file explorer of your system. Well, that's it for project, and now let's go to the console. Well, in the console for now, you have to just know console will show you all the errors that is in your game, all the errors, warnings, or all the logs or prints. It is mostly useful when you are doing programming, but it may be useful when something is wrong in your project. But for now, you just know that it prints all the error and the warnings in your project. Like here, this is a warning symbol, and you will see a warning here. This is some type of warning that is saying me to update for, but for now it is not important. Warnings are not that important. Well, that's it for project. Now let's get to hierarchy. Sorry, now let's get to this window. This window. You will also see there are two tabs in this window. You will see two tabs, scene tab and a game tab. I will come to the game tab later, but here also you can change tabs by clicking on them. Well, first let's see the scene tab. As I have said, scene is the universe of your game. You can do anything. You can build your scene. You can build your universe of the game here. You can right click and hold on the scene to move your camera, move your view. You may right click, hold, and then do WASD to move in the scene. This is where you will build your scene, your universe. Here you will keep all your game objects. Here only you will position your game objects. You will see how each game object looks. You will build your game. You will transform your game. You will transform your game objects. You will move in the scene by WASD. Like if I come here, you will see two game objects are there. A sunlight type thing and a camera type thing. Well, these two are all the game objects that are present in the hierarchy. So this main camera, this game object is this one. This main camera's location is here. And for the directional light, the position is here. This sunlight icon is the directional light icon. It shoots out light rays in a certain direction. Well, that's it for the scene tab for now. I will come back to it later in this video. But now if you see the game tab, in the game tab, you will see everything your player will see. What I mean is that whatever your player will see after opening the game, it is represented in the game tab. So maybe you can also test your game out by coming to the game tab. So if you want to test the game out or want to see how your player will see, you will come to the game tab and see or what you want to do. Well, first let's clear up my window. Now there are also 3 buttons in the top. Now what is this button? This button is the play button. If you want to test your game out, then you will click this button. You will click this button. After clicking this button, your window will automatically change to the game button, game tab, and then your game will start running. If you click it again, then the game will again stop running. So this is the play and pause button. Play and resume button. Now the second button. This second button is the pause button. Maybe you are playing you're testing out your game, and maybe you need to pause for some reason. You may need to go somewhere else or do something. Then you can do the pause button and then do whatever you want to do. And you can only do the pause button when playing the game or testing out the game. Now that's it for these 3 buttons. Now you will come to this inspector tab. This is another main tab. Now what does that tab do? It is currently empty for now. Yes, it will be empty because it only loads up when you click on something. Click on any one of the game objects in the hierarchy or in the scene. So maybe I will click the main camera, and you will suddenly see inspector is getting popped up with some information. Then you can deselect the main camera, like how to deselect an object by clicking on the empty space of the hierarchy. And you will again see inspector tab will get out of the information. Well, what does the inspector tab do? Inspector tab will show all the information of your game object. It is like inspecting your game object, all the information, all the things, all the components your game object has. Like I will click my main camera and you will see a lot of things, lot of information. First, I will click this arrow to minimize all of these components or tabs. First thing you will ask is, what are these things? Transform, camera and audio listener. So these 3 things are components. These 3 things are components. Components are store different types of information for your game object. Like transforms stores the transform information for your game object. Camera stores the camera's related information on the game object, and audio listener stores the audio listening related information of your game object. So each of these are components. You can also add component by clicking this button. Like I will click this button and then a drop down will open up. Then you will select whatever component you want to add and then that component will get added here. This one. This is the component I chose and it got added here. Audio chorus filter. Well, for now I don't want to add any component, so I can delete the component by clicking on this button menu, and then a menu will pop up and you will select the remove component from here. Well, now let's again maximize or open the drop down of each component like the transform. After opening the transform component, you will see different info in here like the position, rotation, and the scale. So transform component stores the position, rotation, and the scale of your object. Position is the XYZ coordinate of the web object in this scene world. Like here, this is the XYZ, the position of this point in the world, which is 0x, 1y, and minus 10z. And rotation stores the rotation of your web object. It is 0, 0, 0. For now, 0 in x, 0 degree in y. These are in degrees. So 0 degree in x, 0 degree in y, and 0 degree in z. At scale stores the size of your object. What is the normal size? And anything above it is a multiplied size, or anything the one is the multiplied size of the normal size. Like if I give 2 here, the size will be double the normal. And if I give 3, the size will be triple the normal. If I give 0.5, the size will be half the normal. Like that. Well, that's it for transform. If you open this camera component, you will see every information related to camera. This information. Like clear flags, background, current mask, projection, FOV axis, field of view, physical camera. All these are related to camera and it is stored in here. Every information related to camera is stored in the camera component. Then there is also audio listener which has no information because there is no drop down or arrow in here. Well, that's it for the camera. Well, first let me empty my screen and now let's go with the directional light. What components does the directional light has? Let us see. Well, directional light has transform component and the light component. Almost every object has a default transform component because it defines the position of the object, so it is important. And there is also light component which defines the light related information like the color, mode, intensity, shadow type, multiplier, strength, shadows, etc. So it stores all the light related information, the light component, and again you may add any component by clicking on this button. Well, in this input or in this text box you will see the name of your object and you may change the name of your object, of your selected object from here too. Now this is the tag, more about tags in the later part of the course because it is not for now. There is also layer, same as tags, it is not important for now because it is advanced things. More about it in the later parts. Well, that's it for the inspector. It is also very important topic because it is used to inspect your object. Well, now let's come back to hierarchy. Let us do something with hierarchy. And there are also so many buttons we need to work with now. Well, first, this is the hierarchy, and when you right click on this hierarchy, a drop down will appear, and then over your mouse over this 3D object and select cube. After you have selected cube, you may name it anything like box and then click enter. And when you see your scene, you will see new boxes appear which was not before. And another thing, when you select the objects that will get highlighted in the scene, and some arrows pointing in different directions will appear. Well, let us first select box, and now let us see what does these arrows do. First, you may see in this side there is some tools or buttons. These buttons are different tools and these are used to do different things. Like this is a tool, this is a tool, this is a tool. First is first, let's start with the first tool. This tool. This is the view tool. If you were to do the name of your tool, just hover your mouse and after a few seconds the name will be shown below. So this is the view tool as you can see below. And when you select this tool, you can pan across the world and view your world by left click and dragging, and you can pan across the world. Also, if you scroll in your scene, you will go in some direction, the direction you are facing. It's like zoom in and zoom out on that direction or the point. Now let's go with the second tool, this tool, and when you again hover on it, the name will be shown. It is the move tool as you can see below, and when you select this tool, again that arrows will appear which was not before. How? When you click on this view tool, that arrows were disappeared, and when you again click on the move tool, that arrows came back. These arrows are X, or sorry, red, blue and yellow. So what does these arrows do? Simple. It is used to move that object. Let me move in that scene, and when you drag an arrow, the object will be moving that direction. If you drag the arrow away from that object, the object will move following your mouse. Like this red arrow is moving the object in this left and right side. This arrow is moving, this blue arrow is moving the object in this forward behind. And this green arrow is moving the object up and down. You may not see it right now, but it is moving up and down. Well, that's it for these arrows. And if you want to do this blue arrow, change this the z coordinate of your object. You may have already studied x, y, z Cartesian coordinates. So this moves the z coordinate of the object. This moves the x coordinate of the object, and the green arrow moves the y coordinate of the object. Well, this was the second tool. Now let's go back to the third tool. The third tool is the rotate tool. You may see the name by hovering on it, the rotate tool, and when you select this tool, the arrows will change and some circles will appear. And these circles are again of green, red and blue color. Well, what does this circle do? As you have already guessed from that name, these circles are used to rotate the object. Like when you drag a circle, the object will be rotated in that direction. Like I'll drag this yellow object and the object is rotating in that direction, in that yellow direction, and when I drag this blue circle, the object is rotating up and down. Well, again the colors are matched with the coordinate x, y, z. So again the blue circle is the z rotation up and down, and this yellow circle is the y rotation, and this red circle is the x rotation. So again simple things. Also remember these are the main things used to transform your object. So you will always use these tools, always, in every project, every second. I mean every time we'll use these tools. So these tools are very important. Now here is another tool. This tool's name is the scale tool. Now scale tool, you may get know the name by hovering on it. Scale tool is generally used to scale the object. First let's click on this object, and now the circles will go and arrows with squares in the end will come. Again this tool is used to scale the object. Like you will scale the object in the direction you are dragging the arrow in. Like if you drag this blue arrow, the object will get scaled in that direction. If you drag the red arrow, the object will get scaled in this direction. And if you drag the green arrow, the object will get scaled in the up and down direction. Well, again, the colors match with the coordinates. Like this blue scales the object in the Z direction. This red arrow changes the scales the object in the X direction, and the yellow green arrow changes the object in the Y direction or Y direction. What if you want to reset your object? What if you want to reset your object's position to 0, 0, 0, or maybe you want to change the scale to again 1, 1, 1 or the normal scale? Then you can come to the inspector after selecting the box and then right click on this transform and then click this reset button. And again the object, everything will reset to 0 and 1. And there is that cube. The scale is again to normal and then the position is 0, 0, 0 or in the middle of the world and the rotation is also 0. Well, now let's start. Let's go with next tool, which is this tool, red tool. The red tool is not important for now. Where it is a little advanced tool, it is not that important. It is just used to again scale the object in 2D, like you will see. It is used to scale the object in 2D, so it is not important right now. Now, let's go with the last tool, which is this tool. Its name is the transform tool, and you can rotate or position your object together. Like you don't have to change the tools to position and rotate the object. So if you created your character and then to position and rotate your character in the world, you may to select the transform tool and then rotate and transform your uh, character or the game object. So these are all the basic things, and remember all these tools will be used every second of your project, almost every time, because it is what is used to transform your game objects, alter your game objects. Again, when you right click on hierarchy and go to 3D object, you will see submode there. Like before I select that selected the cube, but you will also see sphere, capsule, cylinder, plane, etc. Like when I click sphere, a new sphere will come. You will see here as new spheres will appear. Also, you need to find when you create, you sometimes need to find where it is being created. But after finding, you will see it is, you will see the sphere, and again you can apply all the tools on this sphere like the move tool, rotate tool, and okay, circle has, so you can see if the circle is rotating here because the circle is uniform. The scale tool, it makes the circle uniform. Well, you can apply every tool, and again right clicking on transform will reset it, and the circle has gone to the center of the world. Here it is overlapping with the square because they both are almost in the center of the world, but you can select the square and move it aside. So that's it. Very simple things. So that's what you all need to know in with knowing what all the things do, what all the things uses. But let's go over with the last thing. Maybe you want to change the every position, every tab's position. Then you will just drag and drop your tabs. You can change your tab's position. Like I just changed my hierarchy. Like I just drag and drop my hierarchy from here to here, or I can drag and drop this project from here to here. Like this, I can change my layout of the screen. Like for me, and if you want to do with some default layouts that are already given, then again you may go to this layout button or default button or this button and then click on it and some default layouts will be shown. like 2 by 3 straight grid and 2 by 3 left here, or 4 street default. These are all the layouts. This is the default layout. Tall. These are different layouts. Well, if you want to get your own layout and save it, then you can go to this layout drop down and click on the save layout. You give a name for your layout and then click the save button. And after that, when you click again on this layout button or save layout, will come in this drop down. Like for me, I have saved before altogether my layout on screen the biggest. So these are different layouts, and in this course I most of the time use this layout, and you have to familiarize yourself with this layout. You may not have to use this layout, and if you use it, it will be better, but you can use any of your layout. But maybe when I access my console here, my console will be here, but for you the console may be here if you use the default button, or maybe here if you use your own layout. It may be different position unlike mine. So you may need to find your own tab, but it is not big of a challenge. You can memorize your layout and find your tabs. It is very easy, etc. Well, it was it. So this today. So in this part 2 today, we have gone over or familiarized ourselves with the layout of the Unity Editor GUI, and learn all the tabs on all the tabs to see game, project, cursor, inspector, hierarchy, etc. So what all the tabs do. Well, that was it for today. If you want to see the part 1 where I showed you how to set up Unity, it is in the link below, and also click on the notification button below to get notified for part 3 or part 4, etc. Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. Before going, please consider subscribing my channel, liking this video, and hitting the notification bell to stay updated for my future videos. That's it for now, and bye bye.